before me. That was clear in the scriptures. So they were not willing to compromise. Now some people might have looked at their response and said, they ain't using wisdom and they're giving up way too much. All they got to do is bow and live. All they got to do is conform and live. But again, they had a godly wisdom, not a worldly wisdom, but a godly wisdom, and knew the consequences of such a decision. They knew that if they submitted to human authority and lived, in the end they would die. And they would lose their soul because they were violating the law of God. Sometimes you got to choose the fire. And in this case, they chose. They chose. And what I love about it, the men held up a united front. You had 3 of them there. They came there together, and they were willing to die together for this God that they know. You got a false image in front of me. Yes, you're offering me all kinds of things, but I know the God that I serve. I know what the God that God requires of me. I know what it requires of me. I'm not going to bow. I'm not going to serve your gods. I don't care what you offer me. I don't care what you allow me to do. I don't care what you give me. I will not bow to the image. I will not bow to the image. But together they made that decision. One accord, a united front, not one said, well, y'all go ahead. I'm loving this right here. Y'all go ahead. Shadrach can look at Abednego and say, I ain't doing it. You doing it? I don't want to go in the fire. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Together, because they were devout, holy and righteous, and knew the word, they were willing to give it all up. And I love their ability to discern when to submit to human authority and when to challenge human authority.
Yes.
They know when to submit and they know when to challenge human authority.
Yes.
And in this case, the choice was clear. I'm not going to bow because I'm going to lose my soul in doing so. So verse 19, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. And the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now that's one of them spitting mad. He was real mad. Now he done boasted. I don't know who this God is that's going to be delivering y'all. And they said what they said. His whole face, it changed. Oh, now he mad. You done seen that mad. I know y'all know the mad faces. When somebody get mad, you got a spouse, you know when they mad. You know that face.
Oh, yeah.
Your children, they know your face. The parents' face. When you're mad, you know. So I'm pretty sure he was like, what? He was bad. Hot. He was hot. That's what he said. So then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury. And therefore he spake and commanded that they should turn that fire up. Oh, y'all think you're big and bad. Turn the fire up 7 times. We want to ask the people to make the fire hotter. And then he got the most mighty men in his army. And he bound them up.
Yes.
And then he threw them, cast them into the burning, fiery furnace.
Yes.
Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, all their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning, fiery furnace.
Yes.
See, Nebuchadnezzar got so mad, he didn't ask him, are you sure? It just made him mad that you were bucking me. How dare you buck the system? How dare you look in my face and tell me you're not going to bow? So they just tied him up, fully clothed, everything, just tossed him into the fire. A fire that had been turned up. Now, before, these boys were well favored. You favored them. You gave them all this position. You trusted them. And the world just turned on. The world will do that to you. Use your gifts. See, they were wise. They were smart. They had wisdom. The man even went to them for counsel. Remember, he said they were 10 times smarter than the magicians and the astrologers. But right now, I don't use your gifts. Don't use them up in the world. But now, because you refuse to bow, I ain't got nothing for you. I'm willing to torture you. That's what the world will do. It'll turn on you.
Come on now.
You got to stick together. They stuck together. They stuck together. But you got to stick together because you can't trust the world to have your back. In the beginning, and I exalted the Lord, I said he's got our back because he does have our back. And you should have each other's back. The children of God, the saints of God, have got to have each other's back like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It would have been easy for one to say, no, I want to live. I'll just bow and ask God for forgiveness later. I'll just bow and live. But no, all three of them stuck together. They were united, a united front. A united front. So you see how fast the world will turn. In a blink, they turned and attempted to kill them. But God is faithful.
Hallelujah.
God is faithful. If we go on, therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace was so hot that the flame burned up the men that threw them into the fire. That's how hot it was. So we know it was really, really hot, but if you open it, it burns you.
No.
That's how hot that flame was. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. But God is faithful.
Yes, he is.
God is faithful. These young leaders that are turning to scorn the king, he tortured them, punished them for refusing to obey, got tossed in the middle of the fire. Remember they were tied up?
Yes.
They bound them. And then verse 24. Apparently there's a big window and Nebuchadnezzar could see what was going on. So the Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished. And he got up quick. And he said to the counselor, didn't we throw three of them in there? And we cast 3 men into the midst of the fire. They answered and said, yep, sure did. Just threw 3 in there. In verse 25 he answered and said, but I see 4 men.
All right.
You threw 3 in there. I see 4. Now the ones that tossed them in, it ain't them. Because they got burned up as soon as they opened it up, so it ain't them. I see another person walking in there. And they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. So as soon as the men were thrown in, the king saw a 4th person immediately. As soon as they were tossed into the fire, he saw another person. It was immediate. He didn't just show up. It's as soon as their bodies hit the midst of the fire, bam, there was the presence of another person. So that tells me that Jesus was in the fire already.
All the time.
Oh, he was already in the fire. He was there ready to deliver and to ensure that the fire would not destroy them. That fire that burned those men had no power over Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The same fire had no effect on the children of God. Now he tossed them in fully clothed and he tossed them in bound. But as soon as they hit the presence of God, they were loosed.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. As soon as they hit the fire, Jesus was already there and they were loosed. The fire had 0 power over God's children. No smoke smells, no burns. They went into the fire with the shield of faith. And remember, the shield of faith is able to quench every fiery dart. They went into the fire believing that God is who he said he is. They believed that, and that's faith. And because of that faith, they were able to quench the fire. They didn't put it out, but they made it so the fire didn't have no effect on them. The same fire that burned the men that threw them in had 0 effect on the children of God. Sometimes you got to choose the fire. Sometimes you got to choose the fire. It's all right, because Jesus is already in the fire, ready to deliver, ready to set you free, ready to loose you. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Verse 26, it says, then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace. Now he could see from afar, but he wanted to hear what he's getting ready to say. And he said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh, listen to the names. Ye servants of who? You servants of who?
All right.
You servants of the most high God. Hallelujah. The same man that said, who is this God? Who is this God? His tune changed. He said, you are the servants of who? The most high God. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Oh, bless the name of the most high. Oh, he said the most high God. I love that. I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that he learned a different name for him. Glory to God. Got a new name.
Yeah.
And he got a newfound respect
Yeah.
for this God. Hallelujah. Oh, it came back to his remembrance. Oh, these boys, they brothers to Daniel. Oh, they serving the same God. That's the God above all gods. Come on, he is the God above all gods.
Oh, God.
Oh, it came back to his remembrance.
All right.
Hallelujah. And then verse 27 said, the princess, oh, he won't by herself. Oh, this thing didn't happen in the dark. All the same people in authority, the princess, the governors, the captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together. That wasn't no coincidence.
All right.
They were right there to see the glory. They saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power. No power. Nor was a hair of their head singed. Neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them.
Oh, hallelujah.
They chose the fire and suffered no harm.
No harm.
Because Jesus was in the fire. He was in the fire. And the beauty of the whole thing is that it was done in the midst of the king's governors, his counselors, his captains, his princes, and all the people who needed to see God move.
Yes.
Was a witness to the power and glory of God.
Of God.
They stood for something. And because they stood for something, God was glorified. And he was glorified. God got the praise. He didn't get the praise from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I want you to get that part out. The praise did not come from Shadrach, Meshach, because they had already espoused their trust and faith in God from the beginning before they chose the fire. They already said that he'll be able to deliver us. But after the fire, all the miracles spoke. After the fire, the miracle did the talking. Because he did it in the presence of the ungodly people. He did it in the presence of those that were in authority. That was the witness. That these boys were thrown into the fire. Yet there's no sins on them. There's no smell on them. Oh, they serve a mighty God. Oh, they serve a powerful God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Oh, the proud man said, he serves of the Most High God.
Yes.
He gave God the glory. He gave God the glory. Not Shadrach, Meshach. They didn't come out dancing. The witness.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Sometimes you got to stand. Sometimes you got to choose the fire.
All right.
Because God will get the glory in the end.
At the end.
Hallelujah. Verse 28. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach. Oh, he giving them praise. Hallelujah. Same man said, who is this God? Is now giving that God praise.
Yes.
Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants that what? Trusted in him.
My.
That's how they got their deliverance.
Praise God.
That's how they got their deliverance. Because they weren't afraid of the fire. They trusted in God.
Yeah.
And because of their trust, their shield of faith, Jesus was in the fire waiting.
Hallelujah.
There was no harm that came to them in the fire. Church, sometimes you got to choose the fire.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to choose the fire. Sometimes you got to choose the fire. You got to trust like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You got to trust. And then God will be glorified, not just by you,
Yes.
but by the people who see the power of your God.
Hallelujah.
His servants that trusted in him and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any God.
Oh.
Except their own.
Hallelujah.
You had three people willing to stand, willing to jump in the fire. And because those three people said, I'm not bowing. I'm not going to bow to that image. I'm not going to submit to human authority.
All right.
I'm going to submit to God. Because those three jumped on into the fire. He changed the decree. You can go ahead and serve your God. We ain't gonna mess with you. We know he ain't nothing to be played with. We're not gonna mess with you. He has shown himself mightily. So I want you to go ahead and serve your own God. Don't even think about what I said. I was stupid. Don't even pay me no mind.
All right.
I don't know where my head was. I forgot that Daniel, that y'all boys serve the God that's above all God. I forgot. But I've come back to myself and I recognize that I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to force you to serve any other God. I'm not going to force you to bow to an image because you trust in your God who's able to deliver if you only trust in him. So verse 29, therefore, I make a decree, a new one.
A new one.
Come on, therefore, now just 3 boys who chose to jump in the fire. From those 3 boys, we have a new decree that every people, nation, and language will speak anything amiss against this God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We ain't gonna throw you in the fire. You shall be cut in pieces. Oh, that's a newfound respect.
Yes.
Oh, that's a newfound respect. Shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill.
All right. Hallelujah.
Why? Because there is no other God that can deliver after this source. There is no other God. Come on, and I'm telling you, it's not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego blessing the Lord right now. It's not them giving him all these props. It's the world. It's the world. Because God got a chance to show himself. Because his children trusted him, he got a chance to prove himself to the world. Hallelujah. Because 3 people said, I'm not going to bow. I'm not going to bow. I choose the fire. I choose the fire. I choose the fire. The decree got changed.
Yes.
The order was changed. Oh, now you can worship. Now you can do what you've been doing.